Regarding water and overland flooding, even through the reservoirs and things like that that come from underground in our wells, artesian wells, it affects us greatly. And in 1985, I was pregnant. It is hard for a lot of our band members to talk about because they lost their baby. My first child was stillborn, blue baby syndrome, so I carried her to 8.5 months. She died, so due to the high nitrates in the water. And it wasn't until my second child was born, my son, 10 months later, same thing, he was born with H. pylori. I walked around in the flood, I drank the water, bathed in it, things like that. And the doctors didn't believe that I was sick because of that. Being Native and you go to the hospital when you get older and you have the H. pylori, they don't test you for that unless they know that you have it. And when they constantly go to the doctor, you have a sore stomach, they're saying you're faking because they can't find nothing wrong with you. So you're just trying to get pills, so they call you pill poppers, and things like that. So they think you're abusing the healthcare system. My children had sores on their arms when they were growing up and things like that. I had sores on my body. My mom didn't know what it was, but it was because I had H. pylori. It comes back again every so often, and they have to go to the doctor. But if they don't know that they had it, because the doctor never did diagnose them, they can have ulcers, bleeding ulcers, so scabs on their ulcers and things like that. So yes, we're in Peguis and we flood quite regularly. 1985, 1986, because I worked both those years in the flood. I had to walk to work, I had to walk through the flood waters to get to our vehicle, and go to work and things like that. So it affected us that way. So it doesn't matter if it's a big flood or a small flood. So we still flood. It's just what only makes the news is the total evacuation. So, but people still flood. It doesn't matter. It's every year, and it's not just babies who die. It's babies who have heart conditions as well. They're born and they have a heart condition, so they're also in that same blue baby syndrome category. So we do have a lot of children that have heart conditions as well on the reserve. So it affects our children and our children to come. So that's why we don't want all these hog barn operations which flow the water, overland flooding through the ground and things like that, because it comes into our drinking water, our artesian wells. When the water sinks into the ground, it comes through our artesian wells.